Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ioana and I'm continuing to record those videos about mental health and whatnot. And this is a great book I find called Mental Toughness for Teens. Here it is. So this book is by Jennifer Williams. How to develop resilient mind, character, and personality away from fear, stress, and anxiety. Um, I'm gonna do a review of this book, and the most interesting thing about this book is like a journal guide how to do this, um, which I think it's beautiful. Let's start. Introduction. The I am possible mentality. The background was white and the center was written the word impossible. What made a profound was the gap between I am and the possible, which created two words, I am possible. How to use this book? The purpose of this book is to teach young people the concept of mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to bounce back from adversity. Please note that this is not avoiding difficulties, but rather finding healthy ways to dealing with them. Understanding mental health and strength and resilience. You have power over your mind, not outside event. Realize this and you will find strength. In this book, you're gonna find definition of mental toughness and characteristic of someone who is mentally tough. The life-challenging story of the rock of Sisyphus. As the Greek myth goes, Sisyphus, king of Eretria, lived a murderous life. He got into much trouble that Zeus decided to sentence him to an eternity in punishment. His punishment was to push a large rock up on a mountain. However, Zeus designed the mountain in such a way that when Sirius would reach the peak, the rock would roll to the bottom. This meant that he had to start all over again with this nonsensical task. Despite how physically, mentally, emotionally draining the task was, Siphilis did not complain. He learned to find meaning in the hard work rather than seeing the punishment. With each journey to the top of the mountain, he visualized himself getting stronger, thus making the journey feel less daunting. Eventually, punishing a rock up the mountain becomes somewhat of his purpose in life, and he's allowed him to embrace his fate. How many times have you thought, why do I have to do this? How a resilient mind gains you a stress-free, abundant future. Resilience is a personality trait that refers to ability to bounce back after facing difficult challenges. One of the main characteristics of the resilience is being adaptable to life situation and knowing when to change course and continuing to moving forward. This also means that you're thinking out of the flexible enough to accomplish sudden losses and swiftly into problem solving mode. Signs that you're becoming fearless, resilient version of yourself. I'm smiling because I don't think you could be fearless. I think what makes somebody incredible is that they take steps despite their fear. And this is amazing. You are able to balance logic and emotions. You would rather look for a solution than complain about a problem. You are comfortable making adjustment when forced to. I don't think resilience is being comfortable. Resilience is taking actions when it's necessary. But hey, this is how I review those books. Even when you're scared, you are confident about facing your fears. There is no such a thing as confidence in facing the fears. In my opinion, you are uncomfortable facing your fears, but you still do it. Instead of looking at a failure as a dead end, you see it as a learning opportunity. Okay, you are able to accept yourself for who you are while being honest about your need to outgrow certain habits. You are able to be genuinely happy for others without thinking less of yourself. Ancient methods to develop stoic mental resilience. I think I like so much this book that I am really into stoicism. I believe in this very much, if I have to say. When life knocks you down, it's absolutely acceptable to spend time processing what has happened and turning into what you are feeling. Number one, learn new skills. Learning new skills places you outside of your comfort zone and forces you to explore a world of new information. I do this: learn new skills, try new fruit, visit new place. Mm, yeah, just last night I tried oysters with my friend Lyle, and they were like raw. I eat entire three of them just because I didn't like it the first time, but I just wanted to make sure. That was an interesting thing. Set inspirational goals. The process of setting goals, outlining actionable steps, and going through the journey of executing your plan can build mental resilience. Then they said daily goals, weekly steps, and monthly. Face your fears. Controlled exposure in the process of overwhelming your fears by slowly exposing yourself to anxiety triggering situation one step at a time. Look at cartoon drawing of a spider. For example, if you fear spiders, they give you steps. Look real life picture, buy spider toy, hold it and visit a shop where you could see real spiders. Number four, learn from your past. Your past experience can be valuable sources of wisdom. In retrospect, you can draw a sense of meaning from some of the situations you have overcome. Think about stressful events in your life that turned out to be an opportunity for growth. Reflect, and then is a space to write. Reflect on highly stressful situation you never thought that you would overcome. It could be in failing a grade, witnessing family conflict, become ill. But you still did it, right? Follow through with tasks. When you say that you're going to do something, make sure that you follow through. Not only will this improve your time management and productivity levels, but this will also increase your level of self-respect. Few examples. Find friend who also needs support following through with the task. So you check on each other. And all of these books, one thing I don't like, they always ask you to find someone to do it. And the great excuse is I can't find anyone. The truth is, if I waited to find a friend to do something with me, you never do it. So this is a big trap. And me as a reviewer of this book, I will tell you, do not fail for that. You have to be that friend for yourself if you want to get somewhere in life. Create reward system by treating yourself. Okay, I do this. Set hourly reminders to switch tasks. I don't do this. I know what I need to do and I don't need hourly stress about that. Leave sticky notes with reminders. Yes, sometimes I do it, especially if I have a lot of things to do. Chapter takeaways. Mental toughness is about having never give up attitude, even if the goal seems difficult or your current situations feels like it won't get any better. You refuse to give up on yourself. I like this one. Mental toughness shouldn't be confused with being positive all the times. I like this portion because we don't have to be always positive. How to master your emotion and approach life challenge with confidence. I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, to enjoy them, and to dominate them. Oscar Wilde. Emotional mastery, also known as emotional intelligence or EQ, is the second part of mental toughness that can be defined as the ability to identify and understand emotions so you can emphasize with others and resolve conflicts. Building self awareness and getting to know your mind. Self awareness can be described as being aware of your own thoughts, feelings, and how they may impact your actions and behaviors. This skill is not only important when seeking to understand yourself, but is also valuable when managing how you come across in front of others. Self awareness helps you decide on which behaviors are appropriate in various environments, what type of topics are appropriate to discuss, and how to manage strong emotions to avoid offending others, which you can't control because others get offended independently of what I say on my YouTube channel. So, self management, another word for self management and self control. When you display self control, you're able to regulate your emotions before they hijack your body. Doing this helps you switch your logical mind and find appropriate solution for every situation. Self control can be game changer at school, work, and anywhere else. When speaking of others, you may yell, use curse word, and pass blame. I don't yell. I do use curse words sometimes. I don't pass blame. I just tell what I think. Okay. Write down a list of distinct warning signs that you can be on the lookout for, which signal when your emotion is growing bigger and more uncomfortable. Understanding others and building social awareness. Social awareness is the ability to understand the needs, emotions, and concepts of other people. In one-on-one or group settings, social awareness allows you to read both the verbal and nonverbal communication shared by another person and get a full picture of what they are feeling and what they need at the moment. Generally speaking, when your social awareness is high, people tend to gravitate towards you, accepted, understood, and whatnot. Write down different ways that somebody can show anger without using words. I wrote like 20 of those. Look, express, roll eyes, smash things, interrupt, discuss, argue, without using words, body language. Write down a different ways that somebody can communicate. I need someone to help me. When a person is uncomfortable in social setting, what are the physical signs they usually demonstrate? I would say body language, and there are many of those. How can you usually tell when somebody is not paying attention to what are you saying? Normally people doesn't, and that's okay. That's the norm. When you desire to express kindness to a stranger, what are the different ways to do it? When you desire to show close friends member how much you appreciate them, what phrases you use, how to make sure your relationships are always thriving. The fourth skill of emotional intelligence in relationship is management. This skill focuses on quality relationships built with others. Below are 15 relationship questions that you can ask friends, classmates, coworkers, or romantic interest to open and lines. Do you have a nickname? Strength habits. What kind of child were you in kindergarten? What your friendship and love language? What do you have secret talents of? Chapter takes away. Okay, this like little bit superficial in my, so I'm gonna skip it. The science of changing your life through day-to-day habits. Chapter 3. We gonna citate Tony Robbins. I don't like Tony Robbins, so I'm not gonna read this portion. Simplifying the process of building long-lasting habits. Habits are behavior that have been practices over and over again to the extent that they have become automatic. Since your brain processes new information every day, it memorizes stories, information, help you think, react faster in daily tasks. Just imagine how much time it would take for you to learn how to brush your teeth every morning without the ability formed from habits. Before behavior turns into habit, the prefrontal cortex is activated. This is that portion here of the brain, and also this is the portion that corresponds for your personality. Habit loop. So this portion here of the book describes how habits are created in the brain. The cue or trigger is what causes you to think or performing certain behavior. The cue can be an internal trigger, such as reminded of something, feeling specific way. Routine. The routine is what many people call the habit. It's unique behavior that you perform specific way, time, and place. Reward. Reward means repetition. Okay, may you, and now they give example. You may be wondering how the habit loop works in your everyday life. Going to the gym. You drive past the gym to school and spend 30 minutes cardio working. You feel accomplishment, reward, emotional eating. You have a bad news, which is distress, cue, and you order a lot of food, like from the restaurant, routine. And then eating your meal, you're feeling pleasure, relief, and reward. This is the reward. Gossiping. You approach people who like gossip. You join the conversation routine, and you make feel good about yourself. Reward, and that's on and on. How to close, which habits to keep and which habits to let go. The cue is the trigger that reminds you of something. The routine is the specific pattern of behavior that is performed the same every time. Reward is the pleasure you feel. Avoiding the cue is how to break a habit. When seeking to break a bad habit, stay as far as away as possible from the trigger. For example, smoking, away from cigarette. When seeking to break a bad habit, stay as far away as possible from the trigger. Create physical distance when you can, or find other activity to distract yourself from thinking about it or seeing it. Some cues are very strong, like getting negative flashbacks about past events and whatnot, and it takes longer to break them, of course. Be mindful of the routine, or it simply recognize or realize um, the fact. So the reason why so many bad habits go by unnoticed is that they are performed unconsciously or in automatic, I would say. When you bring your awareness to your behavior, you are able to stop yourself before you doing the act and take different course of actions. For example, if you want to quit speaking negatively about certain people, what you need to do is practice being aware when you do it, just to stop. Make the reward undesirable. While reinforce a behavior, the reward is what you receive afterwards by performing it, or sometimes it's not the reward, in my opinion. Sometimes when we do certain things, we do it out of having nothing else to do or not having any idea what else to do, you know. What reinforces behavior is the reward. Sometimes there is no reward, sometimes there is a bad consequences, you know, but we are just doing it out of custom. We are used to do it, you know. The goal is to make your brain feel pain rather than pleasure every time you perform a bad habit. Chapter Takeovers. Your brain forms habits whenever a behavior becomes automatic. Those automatic behaviors are memorized and stored on your brain, known as basal ganglia. Not all habits are necessarily good for you, and your brain wouldn't know the difference. You have to train your brain. You can break bad habits or adopt healthy ones by understanding the habit loop. Chapter 4. Unlock relentless commitment and get one step closer to your goal every single day. Gaining a sense of self-mastery. The son of the rewarded thief asked his father to teach him how to break into homes. That night, about 10 minutes before midnight, the two of them went on a drive to find a home to burglarize. They came across a large house that was isolated from others on the street and planned their entry. Within minutes, the thief had successfully picked the lock on the door and disabled the alarm. The son watched his father away, admiring how brilliant his technique was. A few feet from the door was a small closet in the family kept their coats. Psst, the thief whispered to the son. Go inside the closet and pick out a few coats for us. The son was pleased to be assigned an easy task, so he followed the instructions and went inside of the closet. As soon as he got in, the thief shut the closet door and locked him inside. He then pointed his way out of the house, zoomed off his car. His son frantically banged it on the closet door, pleading for his father to let him out. All of the banging caused enough of a commotion to wake the family up and call the local security services. About 1 hour later, the boy returned home looking worn out. Father, he cried out, do you realize the danger you put me in? If I wasn't for my quick thinking and determination to make it out of the closet, I would have been in jail right now. Son, he responded, you have just completed your first lesson in the art of burglary. There are some skills in life that you can only learn through experience. This is amazing, guys. We are learning how to be burglars, but I think the moral and the funny of this story is that there are some skills in life that you can only learn through experience, with time, goal setting, and developing mental toughness. Destroying the fear of not knowing what you want. Before you can set meaningful goals, you need to decide on what you want. Now this task is easier said than done. The truth is that the matter is there are plenty of things you may want, some within the short term and others the long term. What things make you happy? What do you need? What hobbies or things you're passionate about? What do you do if you were not afraid? What would you do if you are not afraid? This is beautiful. Think about 3 people you admire. From the values you circled, write down your top 10 values. Respect, communication, generosity, listening, genuine, honest, truthful, freedom, self-care, love, fun, adventure, growth. Reflect on 10 values that show up in your life, for example. Do they influence your words, action, decision? Yes, I do try to speak with respect and express my boundaries. I help, I give others, I listen to others, and I care. If you do live based on your values, basically, that's the question. If you were to live lifestyle based on 10 values, what it look like? The way it is. It's my answer here. Chapter 5, setting a crushing sport goals. Setting and crushing sport goals. Okay. The great danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and failing short, but setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Michelangelo. Goals. Specific, positive, observable, realistic, and time-bounded. So what do you do for physical health? What do you want to achieve? Specific, positive. Who is involved? Me, other people. Where do you hope to achieve it? How do you hope to achieve it? Positive. Now that your goals is specific, you need to make sure it's positive. Before, what do you want to feel? How do you desire to behave? How do you desire to behave? I want to carry myself with more confidence, for example. Observable. As far as your goal is specific and positive, next step is to be visible. What will be noticeable? The difference. What would you do differently? What challenges will other people or changes will other people notice? Realistical goals. Aspirational goals must be achievable, mean that you should be able to accomplish the goal with resources available to you. How hard would you need to work to achieve your goals? Do you have the necessary skill, resources achieving the goal? If no, if yes, if you have to read, study, and so on, can you see yourself achieving your goal? Absolutely yes. Time bond. I see that time bonds are very fluctuable, especially if I want to achieve something. Sometimes I achieve it faster, sometimes take a little bit longer, but usually I get what I want. When can you start working on your goal? Now. What days, times you commit to work on the goal? How often you review your progress? By which day you hope to have successfully achieved your goal? Creating new habits to supercharge your growth. Write down your most important goal using SPORT goal setting method, which is the method with specific, positive, observable, realistic, and time-bounded. Write down 3 behaviors that are important to achieve your goal. Create habits for practice those behaviors. Write down the habits you currently perform that may get in the way from achieving your goals. Combining the best of both worlds, hard work and talent, settling the overwhelming questions once for all, hard work or talent. I would say both. How to recognize your talents and bring them to life. This is interesting. Skills versus talent. The skills is the exercise to perform tasks developed over time and can be measured. Talents, natural ability to do something better than average person with little training or knowledge, developed from birth or inside of you. Difficult to measure since it comes naturally and usually it's acquired. It's not possible to be acquired. Write down a list of 5 positive personal qualities. I'm smart, hardworking, intelligent, beautiful, trustworthy, honest, and funny. From the list, identify qualities that positively benefit your well-being, work, and other people. All of them. Okay. Refer to the list again. At this time, identify daily tasks that best highlight those qualities. Now, think about certain hobbies that you're interested in that really heavily that rely on those qualities. Lastly, think about career fields where having each of those qualities would help you succeed. 5 tips to discover your hidden potential. Personality test that can help you discover your strengths and talents. Notice where your money goes. How you spend your money determines what you value. Get feedback from your friends and family. Think back to what you enjoyed as a child. Notice what you admire in others. And beautiful. What hard work looks like. Intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic means inner. When you're intrinsically motivated, you're inspired to work hard to achieve you despite feeling difficult. Extrinsic motivation has come from the outside. Factors, success, lifestyle, positive and negative motivators. Jealousy could be a negative motivator. Tips to becoming committed, passionate, hard worker. Break your goals into bite-sized tasks, bite-sized or a small task. Hang around motivated people. If you can't find them in real life, you can search them in a virtual reality or you can create a positive imaginary friend who is motivated, she or he. I'm joking with you guys, but some of those things are really funny to me. Anyways, schedule regular breaks. This is good. Remind yourself of a big why. Just remember why you want something. Practice 80-20 rules. The 80-20 rules, also known as Pareto's principle, is the productivity hack that can help you manage your time wisely. The principle states that 80% of the positive results you are after can be achieved by focusing on 20% of tasks. In other words, only 20% of the tasks you perform on a daily basis should take priority. Well, to be honest with you, I don't believe much in that, but can you imagine just doing 20% of your daily job? I mean, isn't that going to be ridiculous? I don't know. But I think the reason why they mentioned Pareto's ideas here, they want to try, what they're trying to say is that only 20% of 100 will give results. So, delete unnecessary tasks from the calendar, delegate manageable tasks to other people, and double down on the most important tasks. So, delete, basically, don't waste much time in things that doesn't bring results. Bonus chapter, developing self-discipline and sticking to your goals. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Self-discipline and goal achievement. And then it's talking about Abraham Lincoln, humble background, whatnot. Look at the list and see how many can you. Successful people that have self-discipline commit to their plans. They avoid temptation, prioritize health, develop healthy habits, they find a good routine and stick with it. They don't allow their moods to dictate their actions. What is your definition of self-discipline? I do what I have to do no matter what, so I don't have regrets. Identify an area of your life where you can benefit from more self-discipline. Eating less sweet. That's a good one. Create a plan achieving more self-discipline. I will tell you how I discipline myself about the sweets. I don't buy them. Yep, I buy a cake once a week on Friday. And then find a study buddy. Okay, I also rely on others. I don't like this portion. Okay, then write down various ways you can track your progress. Negative emotion get in the way. How to still stick to the plan. Think of proactive ways of responding to emotions when they arise. How to reward yourself for being disciplined. And the conclusion is, increasingly the state of our mind is the only way to reduce the difficulty of life. Increasing the state of our mind is the only way to reduce the difficulty of life. And I love that this chapter ends up with this note. Not for joke, I say all successful people have learned to be grateful. Dear reader, thank you. I would like to take this time to appreciate you. Without your purchase and interest, I wouldn't be able to keep writing hopeful books for other ones. Thank you for reading this book, and you can read. This is Jennifer Williams, guys. The Mental Toughness for Teenagers Plus How to Develop a Resilient Mind, Character, Personality Away from Fear, Stress, and Anxiety. I love this book. It's step by step. It's useful. It helps. It's beautiful. Stay strong. We are continuing to review these amazing books. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.